Unit 6, Preserving Our Heritage. Page 66. Getting Started. Heritage Sites in Vietnam. Activity 1. Listen and read.
Good morning, everyone. As part of our school cultural program, we need to plan a field trip to a heritage site in Vietnam. So, where would you like to go?
Do you have any suggestions for us, Ms. Hua?
I'd recommend Tran An Scenic Landscape Complex. It's the only place in Southeast Asia to be recognized as a mixed heritage site by UNESCO.
What's a mixed heritage site?
It's a site that has both natural and cultural importance. For example, you can go on a boat trip there to enjoy the beautiful landscape, or you can visit the old temples and monuments to learn about Vietnamese history.
That sounds interesting. But if we want to learn about cultural values of the past, where should we go?
You can go to Hoi An Ancient Town in central Vietnam. You'll learn about urban lifestyles and traditions from the 15th to the 19th century, and will see examples of ancient architecture. All buildings are kept in their original state. It's a great place to explore.
Wow! That's exciting! What about southern Vietnam?
You can go to the Mekong River Delta to enjoy Dong Ca Tai Tu, a form of traditional folk singing. Local artists perform Dung Ca Tai Tu everywhere, at parties, in fruit gardens, even on the floating market boats.
It's a great way to promote this kind of cultural heritage of southern Vietnam.
Indeed. Now, please discuss in your group and let me know your field trip ideas.
Unit 6, Preserving Our Heritage. Page 67. Language. Pronunciation. Intonation in statements, commands, and lists. Activity 1. Listen and repeat. Pay attention to the falling intonation and level rising intonation in the following sentences. 1.
Our class is going on a field trip next week.
2.
Put your rubbish in the bin.
3.
You can see beautiful caves, green valleys, and high mountains.
Unit 6, Preserving Our Heritage. Page 68. Language. Pronunciation. Intonation in statements, commands, and lists. Activity 2. Listen and mark the intonation in these sentences, using falling intonation or level rising intonation symbols. Then practice saying them in pairs. 1.
Hoi An Ancient Town became a World Heritage Site in 1999.
2.
Turn on the light. It's dark in here.
3.
Cultural heritage may include temples, pagodas, and monuments.
4.
Tourists can visit the pedestrian streets in Hanoi.
Teenagers' ideas for preserving heritage.
2. Read the article and choose the correct meanings of the highlighted words and phrase.
Preserving Our Heritage. Ideas from teenagers. To encourage young people to learn about and appreciate our cultural heritage, we organised an ideas competition. We invited students from across the country to send us their ideas for protecting and promoting our heritage. We have received many interesting entries. Below are the winners. A. The idea of promoting heritage sites through social media came from a group of 11th grade students. They suggested using social media activities, such as photo competitions, to encourage young people to learn about our heritage sites and local traditions of important festivals. They also suggested creating trending topics or challenges on social media. For example, a postcard challenge will invite people to create and share unusual and exciting postcards about the heritage sites that they have visited. B. Two 10th grade students suggested forming historical societies or local groups who have a keen interest in their history and heritage. These groups will provide information about local heritage sites, organize special events to celebrate local festivals, and invite young people to discuss issues related to preserving the heritage. This way, they will be able to give voice to suggestions and solutions to problems they care about. They will feel that their voices are heard and they can contribute to society. C. To preserve heritage, such as traditional music and stories, a group of secondary school students proposed setting up folk clubs. The clubs will hold events for young people to experience and learn about traditional performing arts. The artists will not only perform, but also introduce their arts and talk about how students can help promote folk culture. The clubs will organize training for students who want to learn folk songs, a traditional musical instrument, or folk dancing.
Teenagers' ideas for preserving heritage. 5. Work in pairs. Discuss the following questions.
Which of the ideas in the text do you like most? How will it help preserve heritage? Among the 3 ideas in the text, I like the idea of promoting heritage through social media the most. The idea is interesting because it is an easy way to promote our heritage. By using social media, we can introduce our heritage to an international audience easily, helping people learn about and understand our heritage.
Preserving cultural heritage. 2. Complete the conversation with these words and phrase.
Nam, what do you think is the best way to preserve cultural heritage? Anna, let me think. The best way to preserve it is to raise people's awareness of its importance. Nam, right. We can set up school clubs for students to learn about forms of cultural heritage, such as folk music, singing, or dancing. Anna, well, our classmates will show no interest in such clubs. Nam, really? Why do you think so? Anna, traditional arts are not fashionable. There are so many other exciting things for us to do. Nam, that's why it's important to make such clubs more interesting for teenagers.
Preserving cultural heritage. 3. Work in pairs. Make a similar conversation about ways to preserve cultural heritage. Use the ideas in 1, the model in 2, and the tips to help you.
Nam, what do you think is the best way to preserve cultural heritage? Anna, let me think. The best way to preserve it is to promote it on social media. Nam, right. We can create websites and fan pages for people to share beautiful pictures of the heritage and write reviews about heritage sites, art forms, or traditions. Anna, well, our classmates may show no interest in such websites. Nam, really? Why do you think so? Anna, not many teenagers treasure our traditions or cultural heritage. There are so many other exciting things for us to do. Nam, that's why it's important to make heritage attractions and traditions more interesting for teenagers. For example, we can organize photo competitions to attract more young people. We can encourage them to visit heritage sites or take part in local customs and take photos. They can send in their photos and the best ones will win a prize. A. What do you think is the best way to preserve cultural heritage? B. That's a good question. The best way to preserve it is to raise people's awareness of its importance. A. I see. We can create websites and social pages for people to suggest possible ways to preserve heritage sites. B. Well, our classmates may prefer entertainment resources to these kinds of pages. A. Do you have any suggestions? B. We need to have something interesting to draw their attention. How about organizing competitions to find good ideas for preserving our heritage? A. Interesting. But first, we need to write a proposal to our school board.
Preserving cultural heritage. 4. Work in groups. Think of a form of cultural heritage, such as a tradition, a festival, or a form of music, and discuss ways to preserve it. Report your group's ideas to the whole class.
Sample 1. Hello everyone. Our group discussed Kwanho singing, which is in danger of disappearing. We think that the best way to preserve it is to teach it in schools and to introduce to tourists. There should be more live performances at tourist attractions so that visitors can learn about and enjoy this form of singing. Sample 2. Hello everyone. We think Vietnamese water puppetry can be preserved through promotion on social media as well as introduction via tourism activities. We should organize daily water puppet shows and tourist attractions so that foreign tourists can get to know this cultural heritage, and the money collected from these shows can support our water puppet artists.
Unit 6. Preserving Our Heritage. Page 71. Listening. A trip to Trang An Scenic Landscape Complex. Activity 2. Listen to a talk. What is the talk mainly about?
Hello everyone. Welcome to Trang An Scenic Landscape Complex. My name is Tan, and I'm your guide for this tour. First, let me give you some quick facts. Trang An became the first site in Vietnam to be recognized by UNESCO as a Mixed World Heritage Site in 2014. It's famous for its beautiful landscape and long cultural history. The site consists of 3 protected areas: the Hoa Lu Ancient Capital, the Trang An Tam Kok Bik Tong Scenic Area, and the Hoa Lu Special Use Primary Forest. These areas are linked together by limestone mountains, valleys, and rivers. Trang An ecosystem has more than 600 types of plants and 200 types of animals. Trang An is also a place where nature meets culture. Evidence from the caves that we'll visit today shows how early humans interacted with the natural environment to deal with climate change over a period of 30,000 years. The site also contains hundreds of temples and historic pagodas dating from different historical periods. As you'll see, the site is a place of natural beauty and wild scenery that has not been changed or damaged by human activities. There is a long history of protection of the area, and most of the site is still in its natural state. For example, the architecture of the pagodas and temples is kept in its original style. Any work to preserve, protect, and promote the area is planned carefully. Now, we'll start our tour with
Unit 6. Preserving Our Heritage. Page 71. Listening. A trip to Trang An Scenic Landscape Complex. Activity 3. Listen to the talk again and complete each gap in the notes with no more than 3 words and/or a number.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Trung An Scenic Landscape Complex. My name is Tun, and I'm your guide for this tour. First, let me give you some quick facts. Trung An became the first site in Vietnam to be recognized by UNESCO as a mixed World Heritage Site in 2014. It's famous for its beautiful landscape and long cultural history. The site consists of 3 protected areas: the Hoa Lu Ancient Capital, the Trang Ang Tam Kok Pik Tong Scenic Area, and the Hoa Lu Special Use Primary Forest. These areas are linked together by limestone mountains, valleys, and rivers. Trung An ecosystem has more than 600 types of plants and 200 types of animals. Trung An is also a place where nature meets culture. Evidence from the caves that we'll visit today shows how early humans interacted with the natural environment to deal with climate change over a period of 30,000 years. The site also contains hundreds of temples and historic pagodas dating from different historical periods. As you'll see, the site is a place of natural beauty and wild scenery that has not been changed or damaged by human activities. There is a long history of protection of the area, and most of the site is still in its natural state. For example, the architecture of the pagodas and temples is kept in its original style. Any work to preserve, protect, and promote the area is planned carefully. Now, we'll start our tour with
a leaflet about ways to preserve Trang An Scenic Landscape Complex. 2. Write a leaflet about the problems that Trang An may face and the possible solutions to them. Use the ideas in 1 and the outline below to help you.
Preserve our heritage. Preserve Trang An Scenic Landscape Complex. Problems it may face. Trang An, Ninh Bình Province, was the first site in Vietnam to be recognized by UNESCO as a mixed World Heritage Site in 2014. It is famous for its natural beauty and rich biodiversity. To preserve its beauty, we need to identify what problems Trang An may face and find ways for preserving it. Preserving nature. Trang An may be affected by mass tourism. This kind of tourism can pollute rivers and valleys. It can also damage the ecosystem because of the large number of visitors. To preserve Trang An, it is necessary to only organize eco-tours to the heritage sites. We should also create a sustainable habitat for wildlife on the heritage site. Be a responsible traveler. Protect wildlife. Preserving culture. Another problem might be young people's lack of knowledge about our cultural heritage.
Unit 6. Preserving Our Heritage. Page 73. Communication and Culture. CLIL. Everyday English. Asking for and giving directions. Activity 1. Listen and complete the conversation with the expressions in the box. Then practice it in pairs.
Excuse me, could you tell me the way to Tang Long Imperial Citadel? I'm lost.
Sure, the citadel is not far from here. Go straight ahead until you get to Hoang Dieu Street, then turn left. Walk past Hanoi Flag Tower and you'll see it on your right.
Thank you.
Culture. 1. Read the text and answer the questions.
Preserving heritage around the world. Crowdfunding for heritage. Preserving their heritage can present a challenge to many nations, especially if they have a large number of heritage sites, like Italy does. However, the country has found a new method of raising money for heritage projects from a large number of individuals and businesses: crowdfunding. For example, Love Italy, a non-profit organization, uses its website to reach all the people around the world who love Italy, and collects donations from everyone who wants to help. One of their first success stories was raising enough money to restore an ancient site in Pompeii. Strict heritage laws. In Australia, individuals and companies have to pay a fine of $1,000 to $5,000 for any damage to heritage sites or objects, regardless of whether they can be repaired. In some cases, the fines are heavier, and people could even face time in prison. The authorities hope the harsher punishments can stop people from destroying or damaging cultural sites and items, and prevent heritage crime. Tourism works. Spain is one of the countries that has successfully promoted its cultural heritage through tourism. For many years, festivals such as La Tomatina, in which people throw tomatoes at each other, or Los Fallas, a 5-day festival of fireworks and light shows, in Valencia have attracted millions of local and foreign tourists. The unique architecture in Barcelona, home to 9 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, and Santiago de Compostela's Old Town, which is also on the World Heritage List, are famous all over the world. Pompeii, Italy. La Tomatina Festival, Spain. Great Barrier Reef, Australia.
Unit 6. Preserving Our Heritage. Page 74. Looking back. Pronunciation. Listen and mark the intonation in the following sentences, using falling intonation or level rising intonation symbols. Then practice saying them in pairs. 1.
The trip to Hoi An ancient town was amazing.
2.
Turn off the air conditioner. It wastes too much electricity.
3.
A boat tour is the best way to experience wildlife habitats.
4.
In Ha Long Bay, you can go swimming, diving, and fishing.
How can we preserve our heritage? Work in groups. Choose a type of heritage that you are interested in and propose ways to preserve it. Present your ideas to the class in the form of an oral presentation, a leaflet, or a poster. Use these questions as cues.
Hi everyone. As you know, Ha Long Bay, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is renowned for its stunning limestone karsts and emerald waters. According to our group, to preserve this natural wonder, we must take several key actions. First, implementing stricter regulations on waste disposal and limiting tourist boats can help protect the bay's delicate ecosystem. Promoting eco-friendly tourism practices is essential to minimizing pollution. Second, developing sustainable tourism strategies that balance visitor numbers with conservation efforts is crucial. Educating tourists about responsible behavior and the importance of preserving the environment can further support these efforts. Third, engaging local communities in preservation by providing education and alternative livelihoods can reduce reliance on harmful activities such as overfishing. Finally, supporting ongoing scientific research is vital for monitoring the health of Ha Long Bay's ecosystem and understanding the impacts of climate change and human activities. By taking these steps, we can ensure that Ha Long Bay remains a stunning natural heritage for future generations to enjoy. That's the end of our presentation. Thanks for your listening.